Welcome to It's Upgrade Season, the only place to get raw and unfiltered advice on how to get your shit together 1 week at a time. I'm your host, Alexandria, and join me every Monday for The Upgrade and every Friday for The Wind Down, where I'm going to be answering your dilemmas. Small shifts, huge upgrades. Let's fucking do this. Hello and welcome back to the pod. I have a juicy solo episode for you today. And if you are really looking to hit a goal, you've got a vision that you're working towards, you are looking to generate more success in your life, this is going to be an episode that you are going to absolutely love. And there's going to be loads of tangible takeaways for you as well. So I'm super excited to dive in. And today's episode is really about the biggest indicator of your success and how you can actually predict your success, because you are capable right now of predicting where you're heading, and it's all based on this one thing. Your diary isn't just your schedule, it's a reflection of where your values truly lie. And I can tell you now, by looking at someone's diary and where they are spending their time, I can tell you what it is that they truly value, not what they say they value, but what they truly value, and also where they're going to be in 6, 12, 18 months time. Because where you spend your time is showing you what you value. And I think this is a really interesting question to ask yourself right now as a reflection. Does my diary reflect what I'm saying that I want to create in my life, or what I value? And I want to speak to this from a super masculine energy, that kind of like goal setting, but also from the feminine, like who you want to be and how you want to show up in your life. 2 examples of this. So if you've got a really clear goal right now, say that you want to blow up on Instagram. So you want to blow up your Instagram account. You want to be a content creator. But if none of your diary is spent on content creation, I'm going to bet that it's going to be really difficult to hit that really tangible goal. But there's also the less tangible goals of how you want to be in your life. So say you're saying that your relationship is really important to you and that's something that you really value. Are you leaving time and space for your relationship? If you're looking to start a family soon, are you leaving time and space for your family, your potential family, what you're calling in? So it really is a mirror. So when you look at your schedule, what do you see currently? Is it a reflection of your goals and your values or your aspirations? Or are you seeing this chaotic jumble of tasks, different obligations, you having said yes to things that you don't want to do? I can't remember who gave this advice, but I think it is so solid. And the advice is, if you wouldn't say yes to doing something tomorrow, don't schedule it into your diary in the future. Because I am so guilty for this. If I don't really want to do something, I'll say yes, but I'll say yes when I'm like got more free time in my diary. Then guess what happens? It comes to that free time in my diary. It's no longer free because I filled it with things I didn't want to say yes to. And I'm feeling resentful of having to do the thing that I didn't want to do in the first place. That drain on my energy, I have realized, costs me so much more than the hour, 2 hours, half a day, whatever it may be, it takes to do that task. Because I find it such a drain. It actually sucks the creativity out of me. It sucks the life out of me that I could be feeding other things that truly are a yes to me. A study by the American Psychological Association actually found people that manage their time effectively report higher levels of happiness and lower levels of stress. So not only is this helping you achieve your goals and be in alignment with your values, this is actually helping you be a happier fucking person and way less stress. And when I feel like I talk to people about the things they want most in their life, it's less stress and more happiness. I am definitely on that journey. That's something I've really been focusing on this year. And again, this is why I felt it was so important to talk about this and also share with you the in-depth of how I go about this in my own life. So let's start with the basics. Your diary, your planner, your calendar, whatever you use, whether it's Google Calendar, whether it's a paper planner, that is how you log how you spend your time and also plan how to spend your time. And time is the most finite resource there is. This means it's your most valuable resource that you have. Time is your most valuable resource. So be wise with how you spend it. So there's two things that I touched on there. One is it's going to show you how you're actually spending your time. I highly recommend doing an audit on your diary. How do you do that? First of all, log everything into your calendar. I like Google Calendar for this. I just find it so much easier. But I literally, if I've spent half an hour scrolling on Instagram and I'm in the middle of a time audit, I will literally put my calendar scrolling on Instagram. If I spent half an hour with my son, I put half an hour with my son. If I spend an hour creating something, I'll put an hour of creation. I'll get really specific about what I was actually doing in that time. So it can show you where your time has gone, but it also helps you manage your time more effectively and work out what you want to say yes to. I think this is really important, particularly if you work for yourself. It's important for everyone, but if you work for yourself, you don't have a manager pulling you into line and telling you what to focus on. You got to be your own manager. Yes, we can have coaches. Yes, we can have support. Yes, we can have accountability partners. Yes, we can have team members. I actually really love working with my team member and saying, hey, I actually want to get organized on this. Can you hold me accountable and can we work together on this? But you really have to be your own manager of your time. So planning out your schedule ahead of time is one of the ways that's really going to support you to be hyper effective with this. And this is really important. There was a study by Doodle and it says the average professional spends 69 hours a year in unnecessary meetings. That's nearly 3 full days of wasted time. Just imagine reallocating that time to something that's important to you. 69 hours is a hell of a lot of time. That could be 69 hours spent with your family. That could be 69 hours of podcast episodes that you record. Maybe you want to launch a podcast right now or YouTube videos, whatever your goal, whatever your attention is. So time blocking is where we allocate specific blocks of time to specific tasks or activities. And I really was reflecting on this and I've realized that it isn't just about managing hours. It's about aligning every moment with your highest priorities. And that's how I want to live my life. I want to live my life intentionally. I don't like it when I look back on the week and I'm like, I can't even tell you what happened or what I did. I want to be intentional, even if that is being intentional about doing nothing. I want to do it with intentionality. And time blocking helps with this. So I want to really get into the nitty gritty of how to create a diary for success. And this is something I feel like I've really nailed. It's something that I've worked with a hell of a lot of clients on. Honestly, I'm such a diary ninja. I'm so great at doing this. And it was also something that I actually took myself through recently. I took myself off on a little staycation. And one of the things that I did during that time was plan out my entire calendar for the rest of the year. Yes, that is right. My calendar is time blocked until December, you guys. And it's magic and I love it. And I'm going to share with you how I did this. So first of all, I've spoken about this already, but I reviewed my calendar. It's really important. Peter Drucker, who is the father of modern management, says what gets measured gets managed. And I think that is so, so true. So you need to measure where you're spending your time currently. I've already talked to you about that, but I think what I could go a little bit deeper with and share with you right now is also look at when you're procrastinating and why, okay? So say you're noticing there's that Instagram scroll hole and it's always happening at 3 p.m. Maybe that's a sign to you at 3 p.m. you need to be scheduling a walk into your diary, getting up from your desk, getting out, getting some fresh air, moving some energy. Maybe you need to schedule a 20-minute nap at that time. Or is it that you notice before you do a particular task, that is when you procrastinate or you start to kill time or you start to look for distractions or you start to think everything else is more important than what you had scheduled in your diary? If you are doing that, you want to be looking a little bit deeper. Is it that it's something that you're avoiding? Is it something that you don't actually enjoy doing? If you don't, can you outsource it or can you find joy in it? And if there's something you're avoiding, why? What's deeper? What's going on a deeper level? Maybe your inner perfectionist is coming out. Maybe you're struggling with some limiting beliefs. So we can get really juicy and we can really start to clear some blocks where you might be caught blocking your own success here as well when we analyze your diary. This is why I love it. It honestly is such a mirror, you guys. It's such a portal to deeper self-development. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is identify your core values. So what are 3 to 5 things that are most important to you? I really love starting with values, not goals, because goals are limited. Values and the words, the being that you can embody is unlimited. So an example I would give here is if your goal is to create $1 million in your business this year, $1 million is actually limited. But if you want to embody the energy of abundance, that is unlimited energy. So identify what those 3 to 5 ways of being are. What is it that you value? For me, this year, the things that I value and the words that I'm embodying has shifted. And I just want to shout that out because it's completely normal. The kind of words that I used to love embodying and really was the energy that I live by and that I created by were words like expansion, abundance, just like really juicy, powerful words of transformation. Right now, my 3 values are peace, joy, and inspiration. I'm really embracing that this year, and I'm going to do a whole episode on protecting your peace because honestly, it's been a whole journey, you guys, a whole journey. But those values, like I said, they help me identify what's a yes, what's a no. So get clear on what yours are, how you want to be, how you want to show up. And then next, you want to focus on the goals. So your goals are narrowing this down a little bit more now. What are the specific things that you want to create or achieve in the next 6, 12, 18 months, whatever timeline you like to work with this? We have 6 months-ish of the year left right now, so I'm really loving working with this 6-month goal idea. I really like reflecting on, it's New Year's Eve, it's the end of the year, I'm cheersing with friends or Jake or whoever I may be with. I get to manifest my ultimate New Year creation as well. So I'll think and feel into that. I know who I want to be with. So I'm at a table, I'm surrounded by my friends and my family, and I'm going through my gratitudes, I'm going through my celebrations for the year. What is it that I'm celebrating? What is it that I'm in gratitude for? Those are the things that I know that I want to create by the end of this year. And then I start to reverse engineer those goals. So say you wanted to write a book. Say by the end of this year, you want to have your first draft of your book. Well, reverse engineering that into your diary, you want to be writing pretty much every day. Okay? So that would look like prioritize writing in your diary as the utmost priority before anything else. And the tricky thing here, you guys, is treating it like it's a priority. Often the things that matter most to us are the things that we let slip first, with the things that we drop out of our calendar so that we can say yes to other people, yes to other opportunities that don't truly serve us and our goals and our dreams and our vision. So what you want to do is treat that like it is your number one priority, because it is. When you do that, you will fill your cup in so many more ways that allows you to pour out to other people. I listened to Ryan Holiday recently on The Skinny Confidential. Absolutely love that podcast and fell in love with him as well. Not in a weird way, just like fascinated. I thought he was incredible. But he was saying that he's really had to fight. He's a writer, he's an author, but he's really had to fight to keep time for his writing the more successful he's got. And that's when he realized that the creation of success that we often want to create is so backward, because success means we have less time to do the things that we want. And that's definitely been my own journey. I realized so many of the things that provided me inspiration and truly inspired me and lit my flame are the things that I let go of in my business and did less and less of as my business grew. And the things that I was saying that I really wanted to do, the things that lit me up, the things that excited me and inspired me, like doing this podcast, I was pushing to the wayside. So we had a podcast previously, Soul Yes Podcast. It's epic. Like if you're really wanting to binge, feel free to go binge it. It's still up on podcasts. But it was so inconsistent. I would let it drop at the first sign of something needing to drop because I was letting everything else be a priority other than that. Whereas this podcast, this is my priority. This is the first thing that goes in, and I treat it as truly sacred. So really work out what those things are and make sure that you are protecting them in your diary. And I think a little bonus step on this is get clear on what success means to you, because you need to be careful you don't lose yourself in the journey to success. It's very easy to get lost in that journey. It's very easy to lose the things that truly light you up, that truly spark you up. So make sure you're clear on what that actually means to you and that you don't just have a one-track mind of how you create it. Your diary really is the roadmap to your success. It shows you the places that you invest your time, and that really reveals to you what matters most. I think that reveals a lot more than what people tell you matters to them. Look into their diary. It's like the windows to their soul. Okay, I won't go that far. That's the eyes. But you really can tell so much by someone's diary. So the next thing, look at your current schedule, align your activities. Are your activities aligned with your values? And if not, make adjustments. Like I said, also put them in there if they're not already and protect them. Also put them at a time of day that really works for you. I tend to put things that I really love and that light me up or are creative at the first start of the day. That's when I have the most energy. Used to be the afternoon, it's shifted for me. So I put them in first thing in the day because that also fills my tank. When you're lighting your own flame and you're filling your own tank, you have more energy to give to other things throughout the day. And it also means that I know to protect my peace during that time. I know that I really get to be in my little bubble of creation and I really don't let things interrupt that during that time. The phone's on airplane mode. Jake knows not to interrupt me. Unless it's really important, and by that basically Leo or an emergency, that is my sacred time. Time block. So allocate specific times for activities that reflect your core values and goals and make these a non-negotiable. When I time block, I literally mean I time block. So I'm actually going to get my calendar out right now so I can give a working example. So for example, I will give you a day of time blocking for podcasting. So my day starts with a workout. So I literally have a time block in my calendar, 8 till 9 workout. From 9 till 10, I have scheduled in breakfast, meditate, journal. Now, I have learned the hard way to remember to schedule in things like that because something that will throw your time blocks off completely is if it isn't realistic. So I would normally just do time block and then be like, hang on a minute, I need to make breakfast and I want to nurture myself. So making a proper breakfast takes me like 20 minutes, half an hour. I don't want to rush that. And then I felt like I was behind constantly. So I now have things like that scheduled in. From 10 till 11, I have writing time. That's a really like truly creative time just for me to drop in with my own thoughts. And then 11 till 12, I have content creation and it's podcast ideation. So this is time for me. And again, leave time to be creative. Creation needs spaciousness and you can time block spaciousness. I time block time to just think, to ideate, to reflect on books I've read recently, to look through my notes and little notes that I've written, to think about what's going on in my life and what's important to me right now, to review the DMs people have sent me and think about, okay, how can I support people? I then have a time block, which is content creation for the podcast, and it's writing down episode formats, as I have in my hand right here. So really going through and starting to structure some of those thoughts out. I then have a time block for studying. I kept saying that I wanted to do this love, sex and relationships qualification that I signed up to forever ago. And guess what? I've just not let it be a priority. It has just been the last thing on my list constantly. And when something's the last thing on your list, let's face it, it never gets done. So I've actually intentionally gone through for the rest of the year and time blocked it into my calendar so that I can really focus on that. And then I've got the last hour of the day is actually reading and doing the Workout Witch. Workout Witch is an incredible, really bite-sized program to do trauma release through the body. As I've shared so openly on the podcast, my body's been through so much. And you guys, I feel in a really good place right now. I can really feel unlocks happening. I'm feeling more and more myself. Just like I'm also going to fucking deep portals of transformation, which is deep and heavy and enlightening all at the same time. Every time I think it's over, I get hit by another thing and I'm like, fuck, here we go again. But I'm making time to do that, to nurture myself. I'm really in a period of my life where nurturing myself again is a priority and my diary reflects that. I've got time for working out. I've got time for breakfast and for journaling. I'm leaving time for studying, which really for me is an inner journey as well. A lot of the studying that I'm doing is somatic release, and I'm leaving time to just read, chill, do the Workout Witch, things like that. So the other thing that I would mention here is that I also theme my days. And this works really well for my brain. My brain doesn't do well context switching, I've realized. So the first time I realized this was when I had coaching calls spread out all over my week and I felt chaotic as fuck. So I started to theme my days. And even though I'm not really running live coaching programs at the moment, I have my manifestation party running because I love that. But even though I don't have coaching programs running, I still theme my days for what I'm focusing on. So I would go through and also theme your days by category so that you can put things in that category. And when you're not context switching, honestly, you guys, your productivity will multiply. It is honestly incredible. So at the end of each week, review your diary. Did you spend your time according to your values? And if not, what changes can you make? And I really think here that you don't want to review your diary just to see where time went, but to ensure you're actually headed towards where your dreams are heading, okay? So make sure that it's actually in alignment with that. And a little top tip that I would offer here is if you don't stick to your time blocks, don't beat yourself up. Like life be life and you got to let life. Of course, I have flexibility in my calendar. Last week, I went for lunch for 3 hours with friends on a Thursday, and it was fucking great to get to do that on a Thursday. That's part of the reason I started a business. It's part of the reason I created this life of freedom. Again, the more successful I got, it was one of the things I let myself do less and less. So I'm intentionally bringing that back into my calendar. And I just moved things around to make sure that I still prioritize what was a priority, and I got to do that. Friendship is also a priority so it's a great reflection of my values that I'm spending time with my friends. Don't beat yourself up when things move. Move things around. Let life happen. Have some flexibility. Have some fucking joy in there. But just be really honest with yourself when things did shift and try and still keep track of it. So say you had a time blocked out for content creation for the podcast, but you didn't do that. You did something else instead. Cool. I would just change the thing and just be honest about what you did. So when you reflect and you review it, you can notice patterns. Maybe there's a pattern that you need more of a break or you need more time. Maybe you just didn't have enough time laid out for that task in itself to give yourself more time. Maybe it's that you're noticing like a certain thing is popping up and actually you want to consciously create more time for that. So one of the things I've consciously put time for in my diary is just Leo breaks. Leo's in our house. I want to go see him. I want to go give him a hug. I want to play with him for 10, 15 minutes before I get back to it. So I just let those be in my diary, but just really have compassion as well. Don't start to use this as a tool to beat yourself up. We have enough shit to feel shit about, okay? Time blocking is not another one. Time blocking is something that is meant to support you. It is meant to support you in focusing. It's meant to be a tool to support you in procrastination or lack thereof. Let this be supportive. Don't use this as something to beat yourself up with. So be flexible would be the last thing that I'd say. Life happens. Just be prepared to adjust your schedule as necessary, but make sure it comes back to your core values. Make sure that you're not constantly selling yourself out, okay? That's really important here. And I'll leave it on this note. I truly believe that success blooms when time meets your deepest values. So really make sure that you're prioritizing you're prioritizing your values, you're prioritizing your goals, your dreams. Choose wisely how you spend your time. It's the only finite resource. And when you know that you're spending your time in an intentional way, that's when success becomes inevitable. That's when you create a direct success. And that's where you know you are going to be headed where you desire to be. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it was super helpful and tangible. Let me know if you enjoy episodes like this. I'm always happy to get super granular. My calendar is an open book. I'm always happy to share things like this with you really openly. So pop me a DM on Instagram if you enjoyed this type of episode, and I'll make sure to do more. And girlies, if it lights you up the way it lights up my Capricorn, send me some screenshots of your calendar. I want to see that time blocking because it really, truly is the sexiest thing for me. And I don't care how boring it sounds. I love a time block. I will see you on the next episode. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you light. I'm sending you joy. I'm sending you abundance, all the good things into your life.